Welcome to the lesson. The subject is Advanced Financial Management. We are going to answer the third question. I'm well aware that some of you are sitting your exams in is it 3 weeks or 2 weeks? It's roughly 3 weeks. And I just want to encourage you as you revise for your paper, please try and use effective techniques in revising. And one technique is known as active recall. Active recall. Active recall is a highly effective technique for learning, and it involves actively retrieving information from your memory rather than passively reviewing it, rather than as opposed to passive learning. I've seen many students before they sit exams reading books and rereading, reading notes. After you finish a book, you start again, reading and rereading. That is an outdated, ineffective technique. The most effective technique is to actively study. Active recall involves testing yourself on material you are trying to learn. Testing yourself either through questions or just simply trying to recall the information from your memory. And active recall works by strengthening the neural pathways, the neural pathways that is psychological neural pathways that are associated with the information being retrieved. So when you try to recall something without referring to your notes, your brain has to work harder to access that information, which makes the memory stronger and more easily accessible in the future. And this technique is also known as testing effect. Testing effect. Testing effect. And there are many benefits associated with active recall. Active recall, for example, improves your retention. It has shown to significantly improve long-term retention of information compared to passive learning methods like rereading or highlighting. I've seen students before the exams, they highlight notes. That's an outdated technique. It is not as effective as active recall, right? So active recall helps you retain information for a long period of time. That is just one advantage. There are many advantages. So there are many ways to actively recall information. One is through questions. Another way is through speaking. Right? When you learn something, find someone else to talk about. That's why discussion groups are important. When you speak from your memory. So that process of speaking your memory, you are actively recalling information, and is the best way to learn because you struggle to remember. That process of struggling to remember, it is hard, and that's why students avoid it. It is hard. It is harder than just reading and rereading. Reading and reading. So the process of recalling is what also happens in exams. So it is hard when actively trying to recall than passively learning, and that's one reason why students don't like doing continuous assessment tests. because it takes effort as compared to just reading. That's why a student would prefer, instead of doing an exam or a continuous assessment test, the student would prefer going to the library to just read and reread and read. So that is what I wanted to tell you, candidates, as you prepare for exams. I know some of you are doing exams. So I also encourage you, when you come to these revision sessions, don't come with your notes or textbooks. When we answer questions here, try to remember from your memory, right? For example, this question number 1 is a theory question. Question number 1. Question 3A reads, discuss 3 challenges that organizations face while adopting blockchain technology in their operations. So when I ask you that question, there are students who would go to their notes, or they would go to Google or ChatGPT and so on. But if you want to learn and recall what you are revising in these sessions, try come to these sessions without your notes, without your textbooks, without your videos. Just come with a calculator, a pen, and a blank paper. So tell me, candidates, what are the challenges that organizations face while adopting blockchain technology in their operations? What do you think? What would you write if you are to come across this question in your exam in 3 weeks' time? What are the challenges? Blockchain technology. 3 challenges that organizations face while adopting blockchain technology in their operations. Jedida says ICT infrastructure should be in place. ICT infrastructure should be in place. Just write anything that comes to your mind in relation to blockchain from your memory. I think you've heard that term before. Challenge. Write any challenge. Security related issues like hacking, right? Security related issues. What comes to your memory? We know blockchain, candidate technology, is a decentralized, distributed ledger technology that records transactions across multiple computers in a secure and transparent environment. Felisa says high implementation costs. So a blockchain technology is a decentralized, distributed ledger technology that records transactions across multiple computers in a secure, transparent manner. All right? Blockchain. So we have to identify the challenges. And candidates, it is this blockchain that is the underlying technology behind cryptocurrencies. Someone says firewalls to hedge against cyber crime. Firewalls to hedge. Jedida said firewalls to hedge against cyber crime attacks. All right. Challenges that organizations face in relation to blockchain, right? Challenges that organizations face while adopting blockchain technology. Challenges, right? While adopting blockchain. And candidates, it is, I was saying before I read a point there, that it is this blockchain technology that is the basis or the underlying technology behind things like cryptocurrencies, like Bitcoin, okay? Though it has other applications, there are other potential applications that extend beyond the digital currencies. because bitcoins and cryptocurrencies, those are digital currencies. All right. Blockchain technology can be applied in health, in other areas or fields. All right. Some of you may have heard about cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin or digital currencies and so on. And candidates, one challenge that should come to your mind is in relation to regulation. This is a new technology that organizations are implementing in a regulatory environment that is uncertain. All right? Or just put it in 2 words, regulatory uncertainty. Regulatory. I want to leave this space for calculations. A, challenges, blockchain. Challenges. 1 is regulatory uncertainty. Regulatory uncertainty. The regulatory landscape for blockchain technology is still evolving, and there is lack of clarity on how it should be regulated. And such uncertainty can create challenges for organizations that want to adopt blockchain technology, as they may be unsure of the legal and compliance requirements. That is a challenge, right? Someone says limited knowledge in the technology, hence hindering implementation. That is true. Limited knowledge in technology can be summarized into one word: complexity. Complexity. I think you are referring to complexity. Complexity and cost. All right? These are 2 points in one. You can separate them. Complexity and cost. Cost and complexity. Implementing blockchain technology can be expensive and complex, especially for large organizations with complex IT systems. That is a challenge. What else? What else? 3 challenges. 3 challenges. Someone talked about firewalls. Firewalls, Jedida, that is correct. Felisa talked about high implementation costs. We have highlighted that. That is also correct. Security related issues, that is correct. Felisa said security related issues, that is correct. Jedida also said ICT infrastructure should be in place, that we discussed under cost. So there is this point on security related issues, that is correct. Security related issues. Security related issues, or we can just say security concerns. Security concerns or issues. Now, candidates, while blockchain technology is generally considered to be secure, because in defining blockchain technology, we have seen that it is a secure and transparent technology. But while it is secure, right, generally speaking, there have been instances of hacks and security breaches, which can raise concerns about the security of sensitive data on the blockchain, which may deter some organizations from adopting the technology. security related issues. There could also be other issues like scalability. Scaling, from the word scaling, scalability. Blockchain technology, especially the public blockchains, can face scalability issues as the number of transactions increases, and that can lead to slower transaction processing and also higher fees, which can be a major challenge for organizations that need to process high volume of data. So these are 4 blockchain challenges. They are not the only ones. There are many other challenges like interoperability. Interoperability is also a challenge. So let's move on to part B of this question. Part B. The following information relates to an office complex. We have information on gross potential rental income, insurance and taxes, utilities, repairs and maintenance, depreciation, interest on proposed financing. Additional information number 1. Vacancy and collection losses are estimated at 6%. Number 2. Recently, 2 buildings have been sold in the same locality. The first building had a net operating income of 1.5 million and was sold for 12 million shillings. The second building had a net operating income of 675,000 and was sold for 4.8 million. Required the net operating income for the office complex. 4 marks. 4 free marks. Roman 2. The appraised price of the office complex using the income approach. 4 marks. So candidates, you can see here in Roman 1, candidates were to compute the net operating income. And you see we are given the gross potential rental income and expenses. So we just deduct expenses from the income. The net operating income, candidates, is just the income less the costs, and that will give us the net operating income for the office complex. So there are 2 things here, candidates, which you need to take note of. We are given the information in relation to the office complex. Then that additional information, number 1, is related to the office complex, but in note number 2, the 2 buildings, these are separate buildings. All right, there is 2 buildings in the same locality that were sold at 12 million and 4.8 million respectively. So let's first of all calculate the net operating income. The net operating income, that is part B. Net operating income. To calculate the net operating income, we're going to deduct the expenses from the gross potential rental income. Yes, Felista is asking, currently, is the question drawn from any previous exam? Yes, we are answering August. I had said it when I began. August 2023, question 3. August 2023, question 3. We are calculating the net operating income, the NOI. So we begin by putting down the gross potential rental income. You have 2 columns. gross potential income. The gross potential income is the first item there, 1,050,000. This is 1 billion. There are 3 zeros at the top. This is 1 billion, 1,050,000. So we deduct the cost, less costs. And the first cost there is additional information number 1, which is vacancy and collection losses. Vacancy and collection losses. Vacancy and collection losses is 6% of the gross potential rental income. That is vacancy and collection costs. 6% and 6% of 1050. How much is it? Somebody. 6% of 1050. Hannah says 63 million. 63 million we deduct. Then we have insurance and taxes. Insurance and taxes. This one we are copying directly from the question. Insurance and taxes. Insurance and taxes. 78 million. 78 million. Utilities from the question, 54 million. Next we have repairs and maintenance. Repairs and maintenance. Are you following, candidates? We are copying these ones from the question. Repairs and maintenance, 69 million. Depreciation. How much the depreciation? 120 million. Deduct 120 million. All right, 120 million. That is it 120 million? Repairs. We have to deduct when calculating, candidates. We need to make that correction. When calculating this is depreciation. Depreciation is a non-cash expense. Depreciation is a non-cash expense. That one is not included. Then we have interest on proposed financing. That again is excluded. So we have, give me the net operating. We are excluding candidates depreciation and interest because we are calculating the net operating income. When calculating the net operating income, we omit the financing costs. This, what do you call it? The interest on proposed financing, that is a financing cost. If you are to calculate the profit after tax, then we will have to deduct the financing cost. That's why it's omitted when calculating the net operating income. I hope that is clear. 786,000. 786,000. You have to be very keen because this is net operating. Underline the word operating income. When calculating net operating income, it's like calculating the operating profit. Okay, we have to calculate the operating profit before we get to profit after tax or earnings after tax. So the net operating income is 786 million. That would earn you the 4 marks. Is it 4 marks? Yes, 4 marks. Then Roman 2, we are to calculate the appraised price. The appraised price. You are to calculate the appraised price of the office complex. But I want you to understand what is the meaning of the appraised price of the office complex using the income approach. So what is appraised price? Now appraised, we get it from the appraised price. Appraised, we get it from the verb appraise, to appraise. All right, you understand? So the appraised price is an estimate of property's fair market value as determined by a qualified professional appraiser. You understand? Because candidates, this question, as you've read it, you see that it has to be the building. We have the building. Look at the question. The following information relates to the office complex. Then even the income is just potential rental income. All right? So an appraised price is an estimate. This building has not been sold, but a qualified professional appraiser can come in and estimate the value of this building using the income approach method. So the appraised price represents the most probable price that a property would fetch in a competitive and open market under normal conditions. So appraisers use various methods to determine the appraised price, including this income approach. The other approaches, like the sales comparison approach, we have the cost approach. There are many approaches, but here you are being tested, the candidates are being tested on how to use the income approach. The income approach is an approach that can be used to appraise or to estimate the fair market value of a property. And candidates, the income approach is specifically used for income generating properties like commercial buildings, like apartments, and it can calculate the property's value based on the net income it generates. It also uses what we call a capitalization rate. Do you have it here in this question? It uses a capitalization rate. All right. So to determine the value of a property using the income approach, we need two things. We need this operating income, because it's an income approach which you have calculated. Then we need to have a cap rate, capitalization rate. It's called cap rate. This is short of capitalization. Do you understand? Capitalization rate. So you only need to have the income and the capitalization rate. So I'm trying to explain the meaning of income approach, candidates, so that you understand. I've said that the income approach is used when valuing the capital, when valuing income generating properties. It is a method that is used to estimate the value of property based on the income that the property generates. And to calculate the value of an asset using the income approach, we need two inputs: net operating income and capitalization rate, or cap rate. So that's the formula. So we have to get the appraised price. Appraised price using income approach will be equal to the net operating income divided by the cap rate. All right? So we need two things: the net operating income, net operating income, and a cap rate. And given that in this question we are given the values of two buildings, not number two. Recently, two buildings have been sold in the same locality. So the cap rate here, candidates, will be an average. We'll take an average of these, the two cap rates that we are going to calculate from the value of the buildings that was recently sold. So it is going to be average cap rate. So that will be the formula. So the net operating income, you already have it. It's 786 million. What we need is the cap rate. And it's an average, meaning we are going to calculate the cap rate for the first building. Then we calculate the cap rate for the second building. We get the average. That will be the cap rate. Do you understand? Do you understand? So let me use, I need a working for the cap rate. Workings. Cap rate 1. The first cap rate. Let me say first cap rate. First cap rate. First cap rate. The first cap rate will be equal to the net operating income. All right? The net operating income of 1.5 million. We divide by the value of the asset. The asset was sold at 12 million. The 12 million. Yes. 12 million. That is the first cap rate. The second cap rate will be equal to the net operating income of the second building, 675 million. We divide by, this is 675,000 divided by 4.8 million. Then the average cap rate will be equal to these two, divide by 2. Divide that by 2. Give me the first cap rate. What is the first cap rate? What will be the first cap rate? 0.125. 0.125. The second cap rate? Second cap rate? 0.1. 0.141, 0.141, 0.141. The average will be 0.125 plus 0.141 divided by 2. That will be the average cap rate. How much is it? So the average is 0.133, 0.133, 0.133. That is the average cap rate. Capitalization rate, candidates, is the rate of return that is used to convert the property's net operating income into an estimated value. So the cap rate represents the expected annual rate of return. It represents the expected annual rate of return of, or let me say, it represents an annual rate of return an investor would demand for a property with a similar risk and income potential. And candidates, you can see here, we are valuing the office complex using cap rates of buildings in the same locality. Do you understand that? So if an appraiser, a professional appraiser was to appraise a building, that is what would happen if the income approach is to be used. All right? And that is the information we are given here. We are given information for 2 buildings in the same location. We've taken an average of the cap rate, and I've defined the cap rate as the annual rate of return an investor would demand for a property. So the cap rate is a rate of return that is used to do what? To convert the property's net operating income into an estimated value. And that is what we are doing here. This is the net operating income. By dividing it by the cap rate of 0.133, we are converting this net operating income into an estimated value of the office complex. So how much is it? 786. It is 786 million. Because there are 3 zeros here, candidates. We have 3 zeros here. If you look at the information given, there are 3 zeros up there. So these are millions. So we have 3 zeros here. There are 3 zeros there. So be careful to give me the right answer. This asset cannot be in millions. There are 3 zeros here. So this is 786 million. When you divide by 0.1, we are looking at billions. What is the value? What is the value? The value. Page says 5 billion. 5 billion 909. Yes, 909 million 774,000 436. 436. That is the appraised value. The appraised value. That is what a qualified professional appraiser would do. That is what the professional will do in appraising the value of this office complex. Okay, that's it for that part of the question. 4 marks. Let me wrap these workings. We are moving on to another easier part of the question. You are provided with the following information on put and call options on a stock. You are given the call price, the put price, the exercise price, the days to option expiration, the current stock price, and the number of days in a year. The risk-free rate is 5%. So you are required using the put-call parity to calculate the prices of synthetic call option. Synthetic call option. This is part C. C Roman 1. Synthetic call option. For you to answer this question, the students were required to, first of all, put down the formula from your memory. The examiner did not provide the formula here, so you are to have the formula in your memory. Synthetic call option candidates we know, and these are just 2 marks because you are given the inputs. So what was required is for you to memorize the formula, then you retrieve it, then you use the inputs that are provided here to earn the 2 marks. So synthetic call option we know is equal to P naught plus S naught minus exercise price divided by 1 plus R raised to N, or T. Let me use T because I think the question uses T. Yeah, the time, T. That's it. All these variables we have in the question. P naught, we have the P naught there, which is the put price. All right. We have the time there, 219 days. So the time will be 219 over 365. You see that? The exercise price, we have it. Exercise price is 30. So the put price is 2.75 plus we have the current stock price of 33.19 plus the exercise price is 30. We divide by 1 plus R. This we divide by 1 plus R. 1 plus R. R is the risk-free. So that is 5%. 1.05 raised to time. The time is 219 days. We divide by 365 days. This is 219 raised to 365 days. That will give us the synthetic call option. How much is it? How much is it? Is it minus 30 or plus 30? Minus, sorry, that should be minus. The formula is minus. Minus. This is minus. Minus 30. This one is minus. Minus 30. It's minus 30. The formula is correct. P naught plus S naught minus. Synthetic call option price is 6.81. 6.81. Roman 2, we are to calculate the synthetic put option. Synthetic put option. Synthetic put option. Now synthetic put option is equal to C naught plus exercise price over 1 plus R raised to time minus SO minus SO. Synthetic put option minus SO minus SO minus SO. And we know we have our CO. CO from the inputs is a call price of 6.64 plus exercise price, we had it exercise price 30, 1.05 raised to the time there is 219 days over 365 minus our SO. Our SO is 33.19. That will be the value for synthetic put option. Synthetic put option. Yes. How much? Felista 2.58, page 2.58. 2.58. That is the value of the synthetic put option. Roman 3, synthetic bond. Roman 3, synthetic bond. The formula is P plus S plus CO. P naught, S naught. This should be minus. I remember this easily because these are my initials. PS, these are my initials. So to remember synthetic bond, I just recalled my initials. Okay? Because I have a bond with you. So there are many ways you can find to memorize this formula. Okay? The letter P is very special to me. This letter S is very special to me. And you see this is just company. Okay? So the P naught, do we have P naught? Yes, P naught is the put price. 2.75. 2.75 plus the S naught. S naught, the current stock price, 33.19 minus the CO call price, 6.64. So what is the synthetic bond? Synthetic bond, HANA 29.3. So this is 29.3. 29.3 is the synthetic bond price. So we've answered part 3. So thank you for taking time to join this class. Bye-bye.